Wednesday, May 1st edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. Let's start with a look from the Avalon Pier web camera. Northeast wind really cranking there along the Outer Banks. You can see the flag on the pier there, really kind of whipping in that breeze. Temperatures 57 degrees there in Kitty Hawk. The Atlantic looking pretty churned up too under the Avalon Pier there from that webcam shot. It was not a bad day at all yesterday. In fact, it turned out to be pretty nice. 60s and 70s, and really the entire region for highs. Boone up to 70, 66 Raleigh and Greensboro, 74 Raleigh and I should say Fayetteville and Charlotte, 76 degrees in Columbia. Charleston hit 80 yesterday. This morning, 50 is a pretty common theme for a good chunk of the region. You have some low 60s in South Carolina and over toward Wilmington, but really a lot of 50s on the board as we're starting off the day. Pretty uniform temperatures again in the eastern U.S. ahead of a front. Now, I will point out this area up here in the northeastern parts of the country, some cooler air up there, and we're going to have this northeasterly flow in place here over the next few days. There's your cold front. Behind it, much chillier, but ahead of it, again, fairly uniform temperatures as we're starting off the day. On the radar, very quiet around our area. Now, off to the west of us, it's a wet start to the day in central Mississippi into parts of Alabama and Louisiana. That's a little upper-level disturbance. And there's also a cold front causing some activity. Now, again, out in the Gulf of Mexico with that upper-level disturbance, you still have some rain. And then look at the activity with the cold front here from the upper Midwest. Some pretty heavy rain in parts of Minnesota, northwestern Iowa there into the Siouxland, and then it gets over into some colder air and it's snow in western Nebraska back into Colorado, and another springtime snow event underway in parts of the Rockies and the Plain States here over the next few days. All right, today, I think a lot of cloud cover around the region. There could be some breaks in the clouds at times, but I think a good deal of clouds, and there could be a few passing showers at times as well. Tomorrow, probably more sunshine working in as we go through the day, but it'll be a gradual process. And then our forecast as we get into the weekend kind of hinges on that approaching cold front. Now, as far as the winds are concerned, this northeasterly maritime flow in place for us here for the next couple of days. Could be kind of breezy at times, and that's going to keep things somewhat cool. I think a lot of us in the 60s for highs here over the next couple of days. Here's Stormcast, and this afternoon we're looking at 60s in many spots for those afternoon high temperatures in the Piedmont. Tomorrow, probably more the same, although again, as the clouds break up, it'll be a little bit warmer. And right now, Friday looks like a very nice day with a good amount of sun and highs likely topping 70 for much of the region. All right, so here's what is happening in the upper levels. There's that upper level disturbance over Louisiana I mentioned, and here comes the big trough diving into the west. Now, the models are still really kind of struggling to figure out how this overall setup unfolds into the weekend. This is the European for Saturday morning. Kind of a chaotic look. The GFS model, as we get into the weekend, looks like this, more of a consolidated upper air low on Sunday over the Ozarks that then actually moves overhead here in the Carolinas Monday into Tuesday. Okay, so on the European model, the weekend scenario unfolds like this. This is Saturday, rainy day in parts of Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and parts of South Carolina. And then on Sunday, you can see the activity kind of centered over Alabama, Georgia, and parts of South Carolina, westernmost North Carolina, and the rain never really makes it into North Carolina. A different scenario on the GFS. This is Saturday. Same general ideas as the European with the rain areas, but then we get out to Sunday and that rain begins to develop into parts of western North and South Carolina. And then again, as you get into Monday, it looks pretty wet on the GFS and fairly cool too, Monday into Tuesday with that upper level low moving overhead. And finally, the Canadian model. Let me show you a couple charts in a minute. Here comes the Canadian Saturday. The rain pressing into the western Carolinas, actually much of South Carolina and western North Carolina, and then it is a rainy Sunday in many spots in the region on the Canadian model. So it all kind of depends, again, on the development of this upper level low and exactly how it unfolds and how it moves. It's going to be a kind of a challenging forecast to see if and when we get rain in here. For the time being, I'm going to keep the weekend forecast of the Piedmont and North Carolina mainly dry, but again, just be aware we might have to be adjusting that as we go forward. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and God bless.